We want to go Derek James right now. He's in the newsroom, and we just talked about the press release that the school released. But Derek, you actually do know the pastor at Annunciation because he was a pastor at your church before?
Yeah, that's right, because he was just installed, Amelia, at Annunciation in July as the pastor there after spending, I believe, 8 years at St. Vincent de Paul in Brooklyn Park, which is where my family attends. And I can tell you that he is the type of leadership you want to have where you have a parish that also has a school. He was heavily involved in the classroom, going in and talking. Teachers were always inviting him into the classroom at St. Vincent de Paul. We also had, he was very involved. One of our oldest just celebrated his confirmation, the sacrament of confirmation in the last year. And Father Zehren was very involved in that in his 8-year period there. And I assume the same type of leadership as he comes into that new position there. And I will say this, that thinking back, because, you know, you sit in the pews every week and you hear the homily, and that was one of the reasons that when my family moved back up here, we chose that parish, was because we connected with the homilies of Father Zehren. And I can't stop thinking about one of his homilies, which was about not fearing death, and how, as Catholics, you are taught to face death with hope. And it just so happens that the motto that the school has been using for some time is a future filled with hope. And that's a very difficult thing, I think, for anyone watching right now to be able to think about that, because these are two little kids that we're talking about. And there's so much joy that they bring, not only in the classroom, but in a parish like this, especially a small parish where, you know, the families and everybody knows each other. And Frank and Amelia, you've mentioned the connections that they also have feeding into all of these other schools. And my wife just started today a job at a different Catholic parish here in the area as a teacher at a different school. And just thinking about that as she's on lockdown all afternoon and everyone checking in with us to make sure that she's okay, it's just something you don't expect in any school, but let alone when a number of children are sitting there praying, celebrating a new school year. So I have to say this touches all of us in so many different ways. And I will say this, having witnessed Father Zeren's leadership, he is the right person, along with the principal there, to lead the congregation and the school through these very dark days that are ahead.
Well, that is good to know, Derek. What do you think he will bring? I know that you said you had a special connection, and that is why you joined that parish. What is it do you think he'll bring to these kids? So he hasn't been there very long, right?
He has not been there long. I mean, just installed in July there. I think the thing is that he is very good at relating to kids. And one of the reasons is sometimes you'll go to a church and a homily may be completely scripted out. Father Zeren's delivery is completely unscripted. So when he's talking about that weekly scripture, or he's in a classroom talking about a lesson, he's not relying on notes. He's speaking from his heart. And I think that's something that these kids and these families are going to need in the days ahead. And he is someone who, you know, is always trying to spread joy, very jovial. So I think he's the kind of person, though, that can also, in a time like this, create that hope or encourage that hope, because it is needed so much right now.
Well, we wish him well, because, I mean, there is no script or playbook for this,
exactly.
Right? I mean, it's so off the script. It's so sad. And I get choked up, too, when I hear you talk about a future filled with hope, because that's the furthest thing from the mind of two parents, and we hope not more. Yeah. We hope all these other kids make it and survive. Did he ask for that assignment, or was it one of the things where the Archdiocese just kind of moved him around?
Yeah, he was moved by the Archdiocese. I believe that Annunciation had a retired priest in the interim for about a year before Father Zehren was selected to go there.
It's going to be tough for all clergy of all faiths to explain this, because if you have this belief that, you know, God is working in mysterious ways and God has a plan for all of us, I think in some dark times people are going to go, how could this possibly be the plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with these lives that are so young.
Yeah, and completely innocent, for sure. Well, Derek, thanks
Derek.
for the insight. That's helpful.